your head right. Well, all right. What's up, head right homies? Welcome to the Zoloft, your head right hangout. It is hump day. I hope, and you know how we do, man. I hope this hump day is launching y'all into an even groovier part of your week. I hope it's been groovy so far. Let it get even groovier for you. All right, and it's already started getting groovier for you because you here. Okay. No. Thank you guys so much for being here. It really means a lot that you guys tune in for your, for a dose from your debonair dilettante, that being Zoe, and allowing me to share my observations on what's going on during the course of the week. It's like I said, I know y'all don't come here for the news. You're crazy if you do. Just coming here to listen to the bro next door with an opinion. That's all it is, man. And hopefully it is some, insightful, useful perspective on these things. If you're joining us on the Instagrams, thank you guys for tuning in. If you're joining us on the YouTubes, hey, feel free to hit them likes and subscribe buttons and all that sort of stuff. Hey, maybe we'll glitch the algorithm or something like that. I don't know if anybody, are y'all using them things, man? Because my subscriptions, they're still dropping.
I was going to say, make sure you're subscribed because his subs are shrinking.
Yeah, they're dropping again.
So.
But maybe I should have just been happy with the fact that they were staying where they were for like the past past 7 years or so. When they just stayed in the 70,000 blocks. YouTube stopped them from growing. Now they're just letting it fall. And it's not like it made much difference that they were in the 70,000s. No matter what, my videos were only getting like a couple of hundred views if I'm lucky, so that's about it. So hopefully if you guys want to go ahead and do that, that'd be great. If you want to hit the like and subscribe. Now really what I need folks to do is just come over to the website, brawandserpentmedia.com. That would be fantastic. So if you guys would do that. Anyway, so let's try to get to what's been going on through the week. Let's touch on, let's see, we'll hit up, Oh, don't you do that, Zoe. I was about to open up with the wrong browser again, man. I can't be doing that because it'll make my computer like fart out or whichever. Is it okay? We talk about ICE going into churches, the safe spaces, churches and schools and hospitals. Is it okay? Is that okay? Hey, that's one of the discussions that's going around. Is it okay for ICE to go on in there and conduct raids to get illegal immigrants and stuff like that? So we'll talk a little bit about that. What else are we going to talk about? General Mark Milley to lose security clearance in a protection detail. Also, we have, this is a real post from Christianity Today. This is going to be from Not the Bee. President Trump invokes emergency power, sends military to California to turn on the water. It's going to be another one of those things like, does the president have the right to do that? And, we'll discuss, maybe the circumstances of when he does. GOP-controlled Georgia General Assembly opens a session with prayer led by a trans pastor. So the GOP now stands for Gay Old Party. All right.
I think so.
All right, Gay Old Party. Let's see. Texas authorities are investigating this man who uses 3-month-old to wipe snow off his car. This will be fun. The irony. Masked RFK protester escorted out while screaming vaccines save lives. Okay, yeah, I see what you did there. British Navy mistakes fart. Oh man, I should have just saved that one for like the bonus. And it's like, but I guess it's already in the description box anyway. And we have a special article. Ooh, you guys have to stick around to find out what the special article is. It's about farting. So, it's already a special article.
Farting in the Navy.
That's right. Navy farts. All right. So we got, all right, let's go ahead and back it on up to General Mark Milley. And I reckon you guys already, you already know what's going on. Or heck, man, maybe because you guys really want to hear my awesome voice, you just want to hear me read to you. Well, this is coming from Trending Politics, a little bit of what's going on here. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth will be immediately pulling retired General Mark Milley. Okay, I'm going to jump in my face like that while I'm trying to read. That's really rude. Okay, so retired General Mark Milley's, I'm almost like, just let him stay retired, man. Don't have him put that uniform back on, man.
Yes.
It's almost worth it. It's almost worth it to not have him court-martialed, man. Don't put that uniform back on. All right, so Mark Milley's personal security detail. It's just, I know I've mentioned this to y'all before, but Mark Milley, man, he makes me think of, Sam the Eagle. from the Muppets.
Yes.
Totally, man. It's like I remember the first time I saw him, I said, man, he reminds me of Santa Eagle from the Muppets.
I wish
right?
you could put a picture up.
Or a very rotund Abe Vigoda. Right? Remember Abe Vigoda from that's how you say it, Abe Vigoda. I always forget how to say it. I don't know if it's Aba or Abe Vigoda. Remember from Barney Miller? Yeah, he kind of reminds me of him, like a rotund version. So let's see. Security detail and security clearance. According to a report from Fox News citing multiple senior administration officials, Hegseth will also be directing the new acting inspector general to conduct a review board to determine if enough evidence exists for Milley to be, I always want to say Miley, but why do they remind me of
Yeah,
so?
I know.
Right. Milley to be stripped of a star. that's oh man, that's some psychology right there. That's like you being a gold star student, you get a gold star for the day.
Yeah.
And you come back in and say, no, you don't have a gold star anymore. You get a green one. You get a green star. I don't want a green star. I want a gold one. Actually, I like the silver star. Give me a silver star. I'm a silver star man. So anyway. Board to if enough evidence exists for Milley to be stripped of a star in retirement based on his actions to undermine the chain of command during President Trump's first term, according to the report. Okay, so you guys get the gist of it. I reckon I would be in the court-martial camp.
Yes.
Not trying to come off like militant. I can sometimes, but it's like, look, seriously, man, this kind of that kind of stuff is pretty darn dangerous. You're gonna go to China and basically embolden them to do things. You really put both sides at danger. Look, man, it's not like we got like a personal beef against Chinese people in general. Okay, don't try to make it like that. That's what this kind of stuff like builds up. It's not like we're itching to get in a fight with China. Just because it's China. Okay, there's some ideologies that have taken hold of China. That's not like necessarily in their DNA. This is an ideology that's taken over and it's it's kind of been a long-standing idea. It's just something in their culture, right? Because even China in their main language in Mandarin, China is called Zhongguo. It means center of the earth, center of the world. So yeah, they're a little on the geocentric side. They've got a lot of national pride, if you will. But once again, that's ideology over people per se. And, we don't want to get into a war with China just for the sake of getting in a war with China. And by Milley doing this, basically, trying to give China a heads up, this is like an unsanctioned diplomatic role, ain't it? You don't have any business doing that without proper clearance. Would this also be, and I'm asking, would this also be in violation of the Logan Act? Isn't he assuming to have this dialogue with another nation?
Yes, China.
Yeah, wouldn't that be a violation of the Logan Act too? He can't do that, right? So all that to say, if he's gonna give a heads up to China about what we will or what we won't do militarily, man, you can't be having them be giving them heads up from our playbook and whatnot. And at the same time, man, you shouldn't put stuff like that in China's ear either, because hey, man, what if you're wrong? So what if you're wrong? What if we do decide that we're gonna and you leave China like unprepared and they really get their behinds handed to them worse than they could have? You know what I'm saying? It's like you're a liability to China too. It's like, look, man, we don't want to just frivolously go over there and just go buck wild on people. We don't want to do that. So you putting people in you're a detriment, to both sides. So things like that, man. And for what reason? There's no good reason for you to do that. So all that to say, on top of you losing your star, I want to say little star. I was going to be like, on top of you losing your little star. It's like, no, man. We still try to respect, the rank that you've attained, man. But it makes one wonder, how did you get there? It doesn't look like, is how do you get to that position and just all of a sudden, just display this lack of honor, man? People like you are what gives like this stigma to the brass. You know what I'm saying? We don't need that. We don't need that kind of stuff. And why? And the thing is, why would you be afraid? Why are you afraid of getting in a war with China anyway? You shouldn't be. I mean, what's the matter, man? You ain't you don't have the confidence in them transsexuals that you want in our military. You don't have confidence in them. You don't think that they can go over there and scratch them Chinese people's eyes out, right? What's the matter, man? Take them heels and just do a high kick and just put one like right up through that front kick, front stomp kick with the heel. That's a whole fierce fighting force, man, that can go over there. What's the matter, Milley? You don't have confidence in that? But anyway, man, it's like, that kind of stuff, that's where people think, our military is so corrupt. You can't trust anybody. So at any rate, what do you guys think? Is a court-martial too harsh, or is he getting let off light with just getting maybe fired and a star removed? What do you think?
Jay had the same question you had. He says, my question is, who exactly is going after General Milley? Seriously.
It doesn't really seem like he's like formidable. Mm-hmm. Here's a guy who's I guess the thing that he's most famous for right now, for real, is one, this. There's other aspects of it too, but just this is like the headline of it.
Yeah.
And his basically his provision for transgenders.
Exactly.
So it's not like, man, I mean, if you know what the big crime is because of stuff like that, man, that stuff makes America look like, we don't take you serious. We don't take y'all seriously. Our confidence in your nation is just going down.
Yes.
Look at all the confidence in terms of military confidence, consumer confidence, all that kind of stuff. This kind of stuff plays into it, man. And as far as I'm concerned, when you're in concert with stuff like that, man, that's like treasonous to me. There's a strategy to this, y'all. There's an orchestration to this, that affects our standing in the world. And Milley being a part of that, man, as far as I'm concerned, it's a insidious, seditious, very I don't know, man. Give me some other. Bust out your thesaurus, man. A way of undermining our nation.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a undermining operation. Is pretty darn sophisticated. I mean, because we're playing on the psychologies of people with stuff like this, man. It's like I said, or as has been said, it's not just me. When we talk about things that are going to destroy our nation, it doesn't necessarily have to be militarily. While at the same time using our military to do it, and using our brass to do it. As people have said before, or Lincoln has said, man, we don't have to worry about a foreign power coming over and engaging us military to bust up our nation. I'm paraphrasing. Man, our threat is from within. We got to watch for stuff like that.
That was prophetic.
Yeah. So.
Jay has a good one. Dastardly. You guys, seriously, Google Sam Eagle and look at how much General Milley looks like him. Mm-hmm. Zoe discovered that a few years back when he first saw him on TV.
I was like, man, that's
Sam Eagle is the Muppet.
He's the Muppet. Yeah, you have to make that distinction.
Yeah.
Not Milley. Yeah, actually, I mean, Milley might have his, somebody's hand up there moving his mouth more.
That's true. Kind of seems like it.
Yeah, and but it all fits. It all fits, doesn't it? But anyway, what's the consensus on that? Court-martial, or is that too harsh, or?
Yeah, you guys, come on, put a thumbs up for court-martial, thumbs down for no. I want to know. I'm personally a thumbs up for court-martial. He deserves it with what he did to Trump regarding Syria and China. Yeah,
it's like, I'm just going ahead. I don't care if you're the commander in chief. I'm Joint Chiefs.
Yeah.
Me chief. me chief.
Yeah, Brent's in the chat.
What's up, Brent?
He said thumbs up, court-martial.
Yeah,
yes,
court-martial.
agree.
And y'all, we don't throw that around frivolously, man. But look at what's had
Cranky
happened.
thumbs up.
Yeah, look, considering what's happened in the
Joe,
past few
thumbs
years,
up.
right on. You know, this affects so many things. You know, lots of things have come in there, so it's not like, you know, we're just beating our chest and say, yeah, court-martial, get him.
Right.
No, man, that's a big liability. You know, that has played a part in a lot of stuff that's been going on, and it's cost us a lot. You know, not just money. You know, it's cost lives. It's cost jobs. You know, it's cost the value of our dollar. You know, it's cost energy. This has been, you know, things like this have been making us pay in lots of ways. You know, so yeah, throw the book at him anyway. What else?
Is that true, Jay? He says no joke, so maybe it is true. Milley went. Yeah, I'm not calling him General. Milley, I'll call him Miley. Went to high school and played football with Rachel Levine, aka Dick Levine. Wow.
Less. I don't. There's no dick in his name. It's Richard. And when I say that, I mean it in a nominative. I think I'm using that word correctly. But yeah, wow.
That's crazy.
Which one was the tight end and which was the wide receiver? Which
Gross.
Which one was
I don't need that in my
the catcher? Yeah,
It's gross.
Yeah, I wonder if they spent like a lot of time in the locker room together. I don't want to think about it anymore. So, anyway, yeah, that's an interesting bit of trivia there. Richard Levine played football. Man, it's like you imagine like one of all the times it's like, I really want to be on the pep squad.
Ew.
Can I have the part on the team where, you know, you put your hand up under, like, you know, really snug? All right. Yuck. All right, so what else we got here? What are we going to go to? I wanted to, I forgot I started off with the question that's been going around in the culture of should ICE have the authority and the permission to enter safe spaces. You know, this is a sane space in the Loft. Say no safe space. Sane.
Right.
That's what we need, right? We need the Lord for that. But let's see. The Department of Homeland Security has instituted changes to where ICE agents can perform detainments, a move which largely reverses a directive which has been in place since 2011. In a statement, a DHS spokesperson wrote, "This action empowers the brave men and women in CBP and ICE, or ICE, to enforce our immigration laws, to catch criminals, including murderers and rapists who have illegally come into our country. Criminals will no longer be able to hide in America's schools and churches to avoid arrest. The Trump administration will not tie the hands of our brave law enforcement and instead trust them to use common sense." Okay, so the question is, and I mean, because it seems tacky, right? Or it seems, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? You guys are good at, you know, giving me words to kind of help, you know, when I get these brain farts. But, you know, it's just not, it's gauche. How about that? Yeah, does that work? It's gauche.
Gauche.
For law enforcement to go into churches. You know, I guess that's when, you know, the separation of church and state, you can't go in there. So no going into churches, no going into hospitals, and no going into the schools. What do you guys think? Is that you know, is that too harsh? Now, for the liberals who selectively have this, I don't know, reverence for church, where it's sacrilegious, you know, because, you know, they're doing the Lord's work, giving sanctuary to, you know, to the foreigner. Doesn't the Bible say we're supposed to love the foreigner? These are arguments, you know, that people have long made, considering whether it's illegal immigration, churches, you know, and these, you know, harboring and whatnot. And look, you bleeding heart liberals, yes, dang it, law enforcement can enter the church, hospital, or schools when a crime is being committed.
Right.
It's that simple. All right. The first crime of it is that if you have entered our country illegally, then yes, you've committed a crime, and law enforcement has the authority to come in and detain you. That's just the way that it is. All right. So you suppose crime one. There's different levels of crime, yes, but breaking the law is breaking the law. If you break the law, you're going to have to answer to the law in the appropriate measure. All right. And part of that is going to be apprehended. All right. So, you're going to have, if you've done this crime, you're going to be detained. And then from there, you're going to go through your due process and get the fit punishment for whatever it is that you did. But if you're going to use church like as your model, that's like the model, right? How dare you come into a church?
Right.
And okay, isn't church one of those places, or like the place that you go to learn about, I don't know, morality? Isn't the church the place that you go to learn like boundaries, to learn to, be decent citizens, to not break the law? Yeah, church is where you go for that, but you're okay with people going into the church who have broken the law.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you should be understanding, and the church would be understanding that, the truth is, son or miss, you broke the law. And as a church, we have to be law-abiding citizens, and at the same time recognize what good law is and what bad law is. It is lawful, right? It is lawful, it is good law that a person comes in and apprehends a person who is breaking the law of entering our country illegally. All right. So, the officers do what you got to do. And don't get me wrong, man, it sucks. Like, because we just heard just a little while ago, somebody's making an appeal to Trump because he's a Trump supporter, and his wife is going through the process of becoming a legal citizen. Yep. But, hey, right now she's not, or at least she's not. She's
the Venezuelan.
Yeah, she's Venezuelan. She ain't legal enough, right? She's going through the process, but you know what? You're just not legal enough, so we're picking you up. Look, y'all, before anybody, because I guess, that's just the stigma in the culture that, we're these heartless people who don't care and all this sort of stuff. Hey, those people who are here illegally or going through the process of trying to get here legally and all that sort of stuff, even, like I said, whether it's illegal or whether they're going through the processes, they're still somebody's friend. There's somebody's friend, there's somebody's family. Sometimes you meet these people and you may not know, and you become friends with them. I understand. It's not an easy thing to do. It's trading one complication for another. But one of the complications is the right complication. You can't just, you just can't come in and fill up the boat, man. You just can't do it. It will capsize. All right. The people who are coming in illegally, I understand. I get it, man. You want, in the best case scenario, right? Because we know that we got some people entering illegally, coming in to do illegal things. On top of that, I totally get that. All right. Some people just want a better life. We totally understand that. But the thing is, if y'all gonna come flooding over, looking for a better life, you gonna have a harder time finding it. These ideas and these dreams that you want to achieve from America, man, you're gonna bleed the golden goose. You're gonna kill it. And it's gonna be pointless. So, and the only thing you'll have done is expanded the territory of what it is that you're trying to get away from. So, and that's not going to be good for your posterity. So, all that to say, people, being in the churches and especially liberals trying to all of a sudden find religion and think that it's somehow abhorrent that you would come into the church, to apprehend these citizens and whatnot. Look, even Jesus raided the temple, man. And it's like, they love that. They love that story of Jesus. Jesus went in and he turned over tables and he stood up to, spoke truth to power and stood up to the corruption and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Okay. So Jesus did it. Jesus went in there, who's the longest and strongest arm of the law himself, went in there and regulated in the church, in the temple. Right? Y'all don't got a problem with that.
Right.
So this right here is not much different. It's not any different. You're gonna have law enforcement come on up in there and regulate. So, you guys are hypocrites. Anyway.
We have 2 mentions of the Judas Priest song "Breaking the Law." Jay from the YouTube chat and the 1700 from our website Bronze Serpent Media chat.
Yeah, that's right. Breaking the law, breaking the law.
Did you acknowledge the Instagrammers tonight?
I did.
Okay.
I'd do it again.
Did you warn them about the hour?
I know, right? Yeah. If you guys tune in, if we go upwards of an hour or something like that, it'll cut off on you. So please make sure if you still want to be tuned in, come on over to bronzeserpentmedia.com. I got the link in there if you guys want to just follow up on that, because like I said, it might even cut out before it. Sometimes it'll just keep on going. It's hit or miss, but just giving you guys a heads up. But thank you guys for tuning in. On Instagram, we got Branzoso, Hubison, Denizart, Frost D Snowman, VMA Caddy, VMAC Daddy. Okay, there we go. Rick W Day, JW Papa. Sarnold. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank y'all on the YouTubes and on the website. Let's see what else we got here.
I just like to hear you say all the names.
I know, right? I gotta be careful with that. People might come onto the channel and think I'm speaking in tongues. I was one of them crazy people. All right, so next article. Let me go ahead and get to it. I'm trying. Hold on, just give me a minute. I'll move as fast as I can. Well, I'm moving as fast as I can. I don't know about my computer. It's just my computer. Come on, load on up.
Bruce says heaven has borders and a strict vetting policy. Yep.
Come on now, and the scriptures even say if you up in there and if you're an undocumented immigrant in heaven, you get deported. It tells you the angels will come and snatch your behind up. The Lord has ICE agents. All right, he has ICE agents. They will snatch your behind up and toss you out. So as the word tells us, we're not just dealing against flesh and blood, but powers and authority and the evil that's going on in the heavenly places. Yes, y'all, even in heaven, there's crime going on. Think about that, y'all. The word tells you. And the evil going on in the heavenly places. All right? So, and the evil they have to be apprehended. They have to be apprehended and cast out. Yeah. All right. So while these people are thinking that, oh, you can't go into a church and get these. Yeah. If you're in there and you don't have proper clearance to be in there, that is in our borders, you can't seek safe haven in the church because you're in the church doing something immoral. Yeah. You see the conflict of interest there? All right. So,
before we move on, there was some confusion. It has been policy for the United States that these are safe spaces, specifically the church, the school, and the hospital. Trump rescinded that.
Yeah.
He said, there are no safe spaces. These are illegal aliens. We're going in.
That's right. And the thing is, using these, that's an abuse of policy, y'all. You're going to call the places like the churches and the schools and the hospitals safe spaces. And under that misnomer, look at what's being done. You got kids going there and being mutilated, right? You got ideologies being taught in these safe spaces that are totally dangerous for these kids. They're full-on dangerous to these kids, right? And as well as in the church. The church is supposed to be your hospital for your spirit. Right? A real place, a place where you really ain't supposed to do no harm.
Amen.
While you're harboring people who are here to do harm. Not all of them, right. But it don't take all of them. As y'all are familiar with, it don't take a majority of people in an ideology to do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Okay? It could be a minority of people and they can do a lot of damage. You gotta be careful with that, man. And you don't just lend our institutions of religion or worship. Call it a safe space for people to go in there and give people that could do us harm safe haven. It's just not smart. Does not glorify God. as you pointed out, you know, if you examine Scripture, God, adding to that, God vets people. All right, we're vetted, y'all. To get into the Lord's kingdom, you got to be vetted.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the vetting process? Do you believe in his son according to who he says he is? Who he says he's always been? Do you believe that? Do you believe it? Are you with it? Do you follow that? Yes, I do. Well, right on. Let's go. Okay, welcome to the kingdom. And from there, you're documented, right? The Lord documents us. And the Lord has shown that he writes his name on us. Okay, you want to make sure that you got that signature. All right. So these people acting like, it's not Christian to have, closed borders and documentation and all that sort of stuff. You don't know nothing about Christianity. Nothing. So.
This is a total squirrel moment. But Jay says he's over on the BSM website. Sound and video is really a better quality. Thank you, Jay. However, the teeny tiny chat box is not. We know about the chat box. We know. We're working with what we got.
So is that an issue? Like it's small?
Well, there's other issues. Like it logs you out after 1 minute. And then it gives you an anonymous name, and it's
okay. That issue, and I haven't been able to resolve that, because the only thing I can think of is to try another service, but it's like getting used to another service, and I haven't seen any recommendations for like a really good one. But I'll try to fix the size, though. I think I can go in and I'll enlarge it for the next time. So thank you for bringing that attention. I'll at least try to make it bigger, more comfortable for you guys to get your chat on with. And but dang, I'll try to be on the scope for something better, because I don't know why it does that.
Yeah.
There's no good reason for it. So.
Well, we all like our emojis, and there's not much of a selection.
Yeah, and but thank you for bringing that to my attention, and I will try to see if I can get something better going. One of the things is, when you're dealing, when you're using a free application or something like that, sometimes that's just that it is what it is, and trying to. We're just trying to keep our expenses down. Not trying to be cheap, y'all. I'm not trying to be cheap. It's, as you guys can see, my subscriptions and, those who tune in for my work is pretty, it's small. It's about quality, not quantity, but, we do kind of lack the viewership that kind of affords us to have the more, user-friendly, sophisticated, softwares and stuff like that to operate with. God willing, we'll get there. So let's see, but we'll see if we can get that fixed for you. This is okay. So now this is from Not the Bee, and all right, this post. This is according to them, this is a real post from Christianity Today. Let's see, dang it. Let me see. I'm trying to get to the art. I just see a whole bunch of memes. Sound like it's raining. Okay.
Wow.
So I guess maybe is this tweet the statement? In the first week of his second term, President Trump plunged communities into fear, upended life for thousands of refugees, and moved to stop charities from helping immigrants already in the U.S. Okay, so, this is going to sound like I'm just reiterating myself, but Christianity Today, whatever it is that you think is Christianity, ain't. All right, so, plunge communities into fear. Trump didn't do that. These people are already given over to fear. Okay? When you say Trump plunged communities into fear, what communities are you talking about? It's kind of a rhetorical question, but you're most likely talking about the LGBT, right? You talking about them? That's mainly who you're talking about. Listen, these people have already been in fear. It didn't take Trump for that. They've had an irrational fear the whole time. Mm-hmm. Okay? When you got people who are transgender, please let me, allow me to remind folks, in case you've not heard, let me explain to you what fear, being overtaken by fear would look like. It ain't got nothing to do with Donald Trump. If you're a man, if you're a man who assumes that he's a woman, you're already given over to fear. You already have an irrational fear. You're so afraid of being a man that the very sight of your own manhood freaks you out, and you want to have that thing cut off. That's fear. That ain't got that. Trump didn't instill that fear in you. You already have that fear. Ah! You look down and say, "Oh, I've got a wiener. Get rid of it. Cut it off." Right? You're so afraid of being a man that you hide behind assuming to be a woman. That's cowardice, and that's irrational fear. You already have that. So Christianity today, you don't know what you're talking about. You're emboldening people to do what God has do what is against what God has ordained. The very first thing that the Lord said about us, you're a man, you're a woman. I made you. I know what I'm talking about. If I expected man to just be a woman, I would have just told Adam that, yeah, dude, you're a transformer. You can change whenever you want to. You want to be a woman? If you feel like you want to be a woman sometimes, go right ahead. Yep. Okay, but no, God made it very clear that a woman is a distinct entity. Okay, and it's this is how distinct it's going to be. Adam, just so you know that you cannot be a woman, I'm going to take a rib from you. You can't, and like pointing at him with a rib or something like that. It's like, look, Adam, this is your rib. You can never be a woman. I'm going to take this rib and I'm going to make another person with it, and it's going to be a female. All right, now I know Adam was asleep at the time and all that other sort of deep sleep, as a matter of fact. That's a whole nother subject. All right, but you dig what I'm saying? You know, so it's these people who are trying, you got Christianity today trying to say that we're the ones stoking fear. Yeah. Nah, man. No. And you guys are in deep error. You guys are in total opposition to the word of God. You're violating the commandments to not take his name in vain. You're violating the commandments to create an engraven image. You're making a God of your own choosing, man, and assuming the call of Jesus is all you're doing. All right, so that's you guys. You're way off with what Christianity is. You're way off with what it means to follow God. You ain't gonna find nothing in Scripture to back up this idea that God is okay with transgenderism and homosexuality. You know, you can look in the New Testament all you want and try to point to Jesus as this all-accepting hippie and whatnot. If you're a Christian, here's the thing: if you're a Christian, then you understand that Jesus is God. If you're a Christian, you understand that Jesus has always been God. Jesus isn't just this new person who showed up, and saying that, oh, just love everybody. No, Jesus has always been God. And he made his statement on homosexuality and effeminate men very, very clear. Very clear. And he's never walked that back. He made it so clear he shouldn't have had to walk it back. He said what he said. And that's the way it stays. That's his attitude on it. So, in terms of and then that's just the transsexuals, and that goes the same thing for women. Women who are so afraid of being women that they have their boobs cut off. Yeah. It's weird because these women, they want to be empowered. It's all feminism. But don't you think it's kind of weird? Because I tell you what, you ain't gonna you're gonna be hard pressed to find if you do. But you ain't gonna find no woman out there, even if there's no woman out there who wants to be a man who ain't a feminist.
Yeah, that's true.
All right? She's still gonna be all about that feminist pride, baby, even if she decides that she wants to be. Now think of the irony of that. She's all about the feminist pride and all about the feminist movement, while she's too much of a coward to be a woman and wants to hide behind being a man. And this is what Christianity today is supporting. These people get to be called Christians.
Yeah.
All right. What does Todd Pro say? Therefore, what God has made, let not man put asunder. Come on now. Thank you, Todd. So now that's with the transgender. Now homosexuality, same thing, given over to fear. You know, Trump. It's not Trump who gave you something to be afraid of. You already living in fear. You already have that. You're already living in fear and terribly discriminate. Right?
Yep.
Terribly discriminate. It's very discriminate. Males, especially like men who want to have children, they want to be same-sex couples and raise children. What for? Right? You want to talk about discriminate. It's like a woman is only good enough. She's not good enough for you to be a husband to. You're too afraid to be a husband to her and seek security in another man. Right? Rather than security from God to be able to bind your relationship with another woman. Right? And you can't see yourself having a child with her. Instead, you will rent her. Or you will look for a child to adopt. But a woman is not good enough, even though she's wired, she's built to have children, she's built to nurture children, she's perfectly designed for that, but that's not good enough for you. All right? And the profane discrimination against the woman, you would prefer to put your junk in another man's trunk where he goes poop from than to go where God has designed a woman with a receptacle for that to bring forth children. You want to talk about something that is disgraceful. You want to talk about something that is really demeaning to women. That's really demeaning to women, especially when you're a man and you want to have kids.
Yeah.
You want to have kids with another man. You want to raise a kid with another man. But you have discriminated against the woman that life comes through. You've discriminated against her and rejected her because you prefer the anus. That's really crap. That's really crappy.
The pun intended.
Pun intended. All right, so Christianity today, you're just wrong. You way out there wrong. So what's the other thing they try to say here? Upended life for thousands of refugees. Upended life for thousands. Their life was already upended. That's why they left. Their lives were upended where they were. Mm-hmm. Yes. Why don't you go reprimand them? The ones, why don't you go to those countries and tell the people who run their countries to love their neighbor? Why don't you go there and tell them that they need to make safe spaces for their people? Why don't you do that? Why are you lecturing us? You know? Oh, what's the matter? Because you'll get kicked out of their country. We got missionary work. People be going doing missionary work.
Right.
You know, and why is it that you got to go? Why do you go do missionary work? Because there's some pretty unhospitable people. You know, whether it be gangs or syndicates there, or whether it be their governments. Sometimes people aren't that hospitable, and so these people's lives was already upended. It's not our responsibility. You know, it's not our responsibility to make accommodations for these people. All right? It's not our responsibility. It is our responsibility for if they came here legally. If they went through the legal process, then they get all the constitutional protections that are allotted to any American citizen. All right? And the same way is going to work in the Word of God. In the Word of God, God highly encourages gleaning the fields. Absolutely. But here's the thing. God recognizes the fields that are being gleaned. He recognizes that as the property of the person that this is a person's private property. Okay, you're being you've had great fruition. You know, you're gonna let the land rest and let them come in and glean the fields. Yeah. All right. Now, even when they're gleaning the fields, y'all, they still have to abide by rules. All right. They can't come into the fields with big old baskets and just go ahead and take everything. Mm-hmm. All right, they can't go in and raid their fields. They can glean them, and they have to abide by rules to be able to do them. And they got to know who they are. If you're gonna come into the nation of Israel, the word tells us, yes, love the foreigner, love them. Darn right, love them. But you didn't read all of it though. Love the foreigner as you would the native born. Okay? Love the foreigner as you would the native born. The native born of Israel, y'all, are born under the law. If you're going to be loved like the native born, you have to abide by the laws of the native born. You can't just come in any old way that you want to and live however you want to. The Lord is the Constitution there, and you got to follow that. See, these people, they're going off on some self-righteous nonsense. They're going off of the same kind of stuff that the Lord called Peter Satan over. Mm-hmm. These people are caught up with the affairs of men, not the affairs of God. That's the difference. You ain't going to find anywhere in scripture where God's just like, just come on in. The Lord puts borders up around things and says, look, man, if you cross this border, I will have you put to death. There's a reason for that. It's not because, oh, God, oh my goodness, get away from me. I can't stand you. You just leave me alone in my gated community. No, that's not God. There's reasons for these things. Because if people take the liberties to just go ahead and break protocol and they're going to cross your boundaries and not exercise a sense of boundaries, they will come in and they will pervert the institutions that you have. And when these people take power, that's what leads to oppression and murder of the masses. All right, that's what happens. So the Lord's like, hey, before you even think about coming up into my territory, on your own terms, and you think that you're just going to do it, man, I'll bust out my flamethrower like I did with Aaron's sons. Don't be coming on up in here, man, just thinking that you could just bring some weird fire and stuff like that and think that you can burn incense. I don't play that. I will bust out with my flamethrower. I will burn you up. Why? Doesn't that seem mean? That seems so mean of God. Why would he do that? Because when you have people that assume that they can just go ahead and take liberties with religion, shape it however they want to, okay? That is when you have spiritual institutions having influence over culture, having influence over governments, right? And these have an influence in education. It has all kinds of influence, and it leads to oppression and murder. So God's like, I'm gonna nip this in the bud right now. Don't even do it. Yeah, I will, to save millions, I will kill this one for breaking the law. Don't cross my borders without meeting the right criteria. You better have the right credentials to come across my border. All right. So these people, they're in error. Mm-hmm. All right. In deep error for trying to make God to be out just like this, all accepting, just go ahead and do whatever you want, come in our country and whatnot. The Lord, Jesus himself says, man, if you come and you enter the sheep, I'm the gate, man. You enter the sheep pen, aside from the front door, which is me. You try to come in any other way, I'm going to call you a criminal. That's what Jesus says. You don't just come in any old way that you want to. All right. So these people, they lying on the Lord and misrepresenting what it is to be a Christ follower. Let me see. And move to stop charities from helping immigrants already in the U.S. Okay. So even that right there, stopping charities. These people haven't been receiving charity as it is. Charity isn't what they've been getting. Okay, it's not charity when people are being deprived of their money via taxes, like income taxes. Our money is being stolen from us.
Yep.
And afforded to them. That's not charity. These people haven't been benefiting from charity. They've been benefiting from people being stolen from and it being rationed to them. Okay, so there's no dignity in this on either side. Okay, and nowhere in Scripture is the Lord going to tell you that that's okay. It's covetous and it's stealing. All right, so this Christianity today, It's a shame. They've got an audience.
Right. Bruce says, don't be surprised if the latest headlines will be Christianity Today goes bankrupt and folds like a lawn chair. Yes, indeed. I don't know how they're still around other than some liberal Christians. They were started by
Franklin Graham? What was it Franklin Graham?
Billy Graham decades ago. And it's just been taken over by extreme liberals.
Yeah, the devil gets in.
Really sad.
The devil gets in, and I guess maybe in a way that's why I should be grateful, and I am. I'm grateful for what it is that we do, but our operation is very small. It's very, very small, and I guess maybe it has to stay that way because these things get big, and all of a sudden it gets overtaken by corrupt people.
Yeah.
You know.
But we don't want to have another year like 2024 because you do have a lot of amazing things on the plate that you'd like to get out.
Yeah.
Get into the culture, get the word of God into the culture through creative means.
Thank you. Yeah, we do. I mean, we do need to grow, but it's one of those things that talk about vetting. Oh boy.
Yes,
it's like we'll be sitting on the other side with them,
right?
really putting people under the microscope who we want to be involved in.
We're not going to have gay flags on our sets.
Yeah. We'll have to be, very, very scrutinizing, very discriminate, very much discernment, and we appreciate your prayers to be able to make that happen because, even the conservative publications that I've been involved with, man, it's actually more liberals than it is conservatives involved in them. It's like, wow, man, what? Okay. All right, what else we got here?
Real quick, Sketchy says, gleaning is taking what's left over, right?
That's right. So when it's time to let the land rest and when the crops, they'll still be doing their thing, but, as the crops fall off, you're not going to go in and farm it, and you're going to leave that, for those to come in and glean the fields. Man, that's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing, y'all. We're not free to do that anymore. That's the thing. You see, you know what I'm saying? Like the Lord says, look, I give to you freely, and I expect you to freely give. Y'all, that's not just the Lord saying, I give to you abundantly, which it is. It's like, look, man, I've given you, and I expect you guys to give abundantly. But it's more than that, y'all. I give to you freely. Meaning that I'm free to give to you. It's like, I'm not being made to do this. Okay? I'm not, my hand isn't forced to do, I can leave. Okay? I can leave. I don't have to atone for you. I do this of my own free will. I give to you freely. And I'd like for you, I expect you to freely give. Meaning that keep your freedom. Keep your freedom to give. See, y'all, we ain't there anymore. We don't really get to give freely anymore. We get the snot taxed out of us.
Yeah.
Right? You go into the grocery store and they be saying things like, would you like to make a donation? I'm like, no. It's like not like just flat out no, but if it wasn't for these taxes, that we're having, these prices that we're having to pay, that's also a product of that. I'd like to be able to give more, but money's a little tight right now.
Yeah.
So how about doing us all a favor? You could do your part. Make sure you vote for people who don't put in these policies that impose all these costs on us, so we can be free to give. Right? We want to be able to be charitable. And the thing about it, because when you're free to be charitable, I guess the dichotomy of it, if I can use that word, when you have a nation that's free to be charitable, you'd be surprised how less charity you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. They say because what do we want to do? What's the charity for? Man, it's to get you out. It's to get you out of your poverty. It's not to make you comfortable in your poverty. It's to help get you out. And then you, the person who has gotten out of poverty, now it's your turn to be a blessing to somebody. Right? That's what we want to be able to do. We want to be a nation that's able to bless people, man. That's what charity is for. It's like, here's a little bit of something for you, just so you can be comfortable in your poverty. Oh man, we want to get you out of that. We know you're gonna need some money. You need money, need food. You're gonna need a trade, some kind of skill that you can do to support yourself. And the kind of skills that support your household Not going to a job and say, I got like 5 kids and you need to pay me. You need to pay me for the 5 kids that I have. That's not a job's responsibility.
Right.
Okay, you want that kind of money, you need to go find you a skill. You need to learn something that earns you that kind of money. You had them kids, your job didn't. That's not their responsibility to pay for how many kids you got. Right? So, but you got these people out there, man. You know, they go out there with these kind of ideologies, and it's abuse. It's abuse of the name of God, making it look like that this is the kind of stuff that we're supposed to do. Yeah. And these are the kind of things that destroy nations. Let's see. What else we got?
Jello Burger says...
love that name.
I know, I do too. Sketchy said, hello, Jello.
Hello, Jello. I don't know if I'd ever eat a Jello burger. Well, it depends on what the bun is. Like maybe, technically, a jelly donut is kind of like a Jello burger. When you think about it, I mean, it's got jelly in it. It's got the breading around it, you know. There were some, and I don't know, I personally think this is sacrilege, but, you know, they were making burgers, but using donuts, you know, like raised donuts as the bun.
I would try it.
How about this? I would try it without the glaze, though. That'd be too much. Yeah. Because the donut pastry itself is delicious.
Yes, it is.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's the donut pastry itself is not like sweet. It's the glaze that's really sweet on it.
True.
So without the glaze, you make that, that'd be a good bun for a burger.
I can see that.
Right? But the jelly donut technically is loosely a Jello burger. Because I was gonna say, I don't think I would ever try a Jello burger, like, you know, a sesame seed bun, you know, with some Jello slapped in the middle of it.
No.
I don't think I would do that. But a jelly donut is technically a Jello burger. I'd do that, right? It's a jelly burger, if you will.
So now every time I see Jello Burger's name, I'm gonna think of that.
All right.
He says, though, I'm here for my rain check. Yeah, deep sea. And I said, my bad. I did not remind him. He did not do his homework.
Burger. I did start to look it up. What took so much time was trying to figure out what that emblem meant. I'm trying to look at it. I'm like, is it a dolphin? Is it a squid? Is it a whale? What is this thing supposed to be? I was there for a long time, Jello. I really meant to do my homework, man, but I just got, by the time I was done being fixated on that symbol, I had run out of time, man. I'm looking at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like,
I see it now.
Where's the head? I can kind of figure what the tail is, I think. What is it supposed to be looking at? You know, and all that sort of stuff. So, what I can say is that, so it's supposed to be a much cheaper version, I guess, to build or to execute or whichever. The cost of it is supposed to be significantly less than the AI generators that we have now. I think, am I saying that correctly? What that tells me, evidently people didn't learn their lesson from like Gmail and Google and, you know, free social media websites and stuff like that. I mean, heck, man, it's called DeepSeek. All right, it's already telling you that the data mining is gonna be, they're gonna be all up in your Kool-Aid, man. They're gonna be selling your information. Oh man.
Tom Jensen called them deep stick.
So, all that to say, I think DeepSeek is something that I myself would not partake in. One of those things where, you know, if it seems too good to be true, it most likely is. And so, you know, DeepSeek having making this, I guess, more affordable. It's like I said, it's going to be like I think I alluded that to the previous session. It's going to be like the Temu of,
yes.
You know, the quality is not going to be as, you know, desirable, especially what you're going to have to make, what you may have to sacrifice for to be able to use it. And I think it's just another way for, you know, communist China to get in our business.
Absolutely.
Even more. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to, man. And for me, it's not worth it. It's not worth it for me.
Yeah. He said, no problem. We'll have plenty of time to discuss after the rapture.
I like the way you think.
Me too.
Yes. But so I feel bad, man. I'm sorry. But hey, on the real though, I really did start to research it, but I squirreled out, man, and looking at that emblem, and I was like, by the time I was done, I was like, man, I ran out of time. I did get started on it though. Let's see.
Jay says, I found out that it is a whale, specifically a bowhead whale.
A bowhead whale. I've never heard of a bowhead whale, and I thought I was up on my whale game.
I've never heard of one either.
Really? What, a bowhead whale?
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to have to Google it after the show.
Like what kind of bow? Like a bow as in like, like you put on a Christmas present, or like a bow as in like, like a shooting, like what kind of bowhead are we talking about here? This is we could have segued this into our last article, whale farts.
This is true.
Yeah. I don't have much to say about it. I just, it's whale farts. So it's obligatory. You have to talk about it. Emergency. Okay, yeah. President Trump invokes emergency powers, sends military to California to turn on the water. Okay. Now this kind of like goes along with do they have the authorities? Does military have the authorities to go into?
Yeah, I was wondering.
Or ICE ICE go into the churches and detain people and whatnot. And this is kind of like a little bit of the same thing. Does the president have the authority to go into states? And isn't this supposed to be? That's like overreach. Overreach. Isn't that an overreach of his office? Isn't that supposed to be what the governor does? Yeah. Well, the people who are supposed, that's the thing about it. The people who are supposed to be doing it in the office of their states or their counties or their cities and stuff like that, well, they're not doing it. And it's not even so much that they're not doing it, they're refusing to. Yeah. So in a situation like that, y'all, the president does have the authority to intervene on a state level. Okay? Remember, y'all, no state can deprive a person of their life, their liberty, or their property, and their pursuit of happiness. It's not necessarily specified in the Constitution, but as far as the Declaration is concerned, it's your pursuit of happiness and obtaining things and doing your work to obtain property and stuff like that. Yeah, things like that can make you happy, or at least make a down payment. You can't buy happiness, but you know what I'm saying. So now, if the people are being deprived of that, like things like water, which is supposed to be, this public commodity, if you will, their taxes pay for that water to be routed. All right, so they're supposed to have reservoirs of water. If the people have paid in to having that water suitable and routable, then you need to allow them access to that water.
Yes.
Okay, you can't deprive them of that water. All right? But because they are depriving them of that water, that is when the president has the right to come into that state and make sure that those people get water.
Yeah.
It's that simple. All right? Of course, these people try to make it more complicated than that. But, these people are just straight up wrong. So, yeah, it is right for the president to invoke emergency powers to go in and unlock what the people have a right to. Their taxes paid for that water to be routed. Let them have their water.
Yeah, it's been like that for decades.
Yeah. Let's see, what else we got? GOP-controlled Georgia Assembly open session prayer led by trans pastor. Okay, and as I said, I guess the GOP is no longer the grand old party. It is the gay old party. So when you say grand old party, we could think Lincoln. Lincoln is pretty much the guy who really understood what it meant to be the grand old party. Okay, because when he called out Democrats for assuming to be conservative. Lincoln's just like, man, y'all ain't no conservatives. You know, this goes way back, y'all. You know, this goes way back. And Lincoln's, man, there's nothing conservative about y'all. We Republicans, we're the actual conservatives. We stick to and adhere to the principles of old, right? To the old principles that this nation was founded on. You know, that these rights are supposed to be afforded to everybody. So he's breaking these things down to Democrats, and he's making the distinction about what it is actually to be a conservative and how these things are to be upheld. And what you Democrats are doing is something totally different. You know, but we stick to the old, we old school, right? That's basically what Lincoln is saying, man. We're old school, man. We stick to what it was meant to be, and recognizing that man's rights, all men, our rights come from God. You know, we have God-given rights. So, you know, you're going to be an American citizen, you need to abide by it. You can't just decide that, you know, that a person, that somebody doesn't have personhood and you deprive them of their rights. We're old school up in here, man. This is what the nation was supposed to be founded on that. You guys are trying to pervert what this is. And speaking of perverting, you know, so we got another instance of Republicans. We got Republicans once again letting the godless preside over them.
Yeah, in prayer.
Yeah, in prayer, man.
This is a trans pastor.
Yeah, so a lot of the Republican Party, man, is just lost. Is lost, and this is weak. And so you're gonna have this so-called trans pastor open their session. Yeah. So there was any Republican, actually everybody in that assembly, either should have gotten up and walked out,
yes,
or gone up on that up to that podium and be like, "Excuse me, sir, sir, you're not leading this prayer."
That would have been better.
Yeah, you're not doing that. So if anything, man. And that's why I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm trying to tell you, like and hopefully we won't be here for this, as the word rapture has been invoked, and I'm banking on that. Okay, hopefully we won't have to be here for the whole abomination that causes desolation thing. We won't have to be here for that. But I reckon that abomination that's going to cause desolation is going to be a training. I'm telling you. All right, you're seeing it more and more. You're seeing it more and more how transgender people are assuming these positions in office, high positions, right? These high stately positions. So when the word talks about the abomination that causes desolation standing where it should not be, notice that it doesn't declare whether it's going to be male or female, right? And cause it. It doesn't now notice, and also notice it doesn't say what causes the abomination. It calls this thing an abomination itself, right? And transgenderism is an abomination.
So you're saying the Bible calls it an it?
Calls it an it, right? It's gender ambiguous, if you will.
Wow.
So I'm pretty darn sure that it's most likely going to be a tranny. We don't want to be here to find out.
No.
Right? But yeah. But that's what transgenderism is. Transgenderism is an abomination. When you take something, you do something that is just fully at odds with nature. Okay, you've created an abomination. It's a detestable act. To take a man and assume to make a man into a woman, or vice versa, or whatever 200 something, 200, 500, whatever 900. 50, it went from 57 to 930. I don't know. All right, all that stuff. That's an abomination. So basically these people now I don't know if this is a transvestite or a transgender. I don't know if this person has any sort of operation or anything like that. I didn't want to look at it that long. Okay.
Yeah.
At least a transvestite could be, that's reversible. Just go wipe that makeup off.
Yes.
All right. Just wipe that stuff off, Frankenfurter. Right. But transgenderism, that is a full commitment to an abomination. All right. So, and if that being the case, or at the same time, also the Word of God tells us that effeminate males will not inherit the kingdom, which means that this person should not have been on the pulpit and presiding and leading a prayer.
Yeah.
All right, over this assembly. Shouldn't have been doing that. The Word of God tells us that a man is not to lie down with another man as he would with a woman. There's a reason why it's worded that way, y'all. Notice that it doesn't just say a man is not to lie down with another man. It says a man is not to lie down with another man as he would a woman. So it's covering two bases. One, a man is just not supposed to lie down with another man and have sex with other men. And you're not supposed to have, and don't try to use the loophole of, well, it's not a man, it's a woman. Right? He identifies as a woman, or he's gone through transgender or anything like that. No, the Word of God says don't even lie down with another man as if he were a woman. Okay? God covered because he knew that people would try stuff like this.
Yep.
God's smarter than you. All right? He's already got all those bases covered. So, he's smarter than you too, so you darn right he is. Right? Let's see. What else we got here?
While you're looking for your next article, Jello Burger says, if we're doing song requests, I want a Zoe version of Bulls on Parade.
Ooh, okay. I do like that song. Man, but just the content of Rage Against the Machine, just that commie. Oh. And don't get me wrong, because I was a huge Rage Against the Machine fan, big time Rage Against the Machine fan, but I might have a hard time singing those lyrics though, man, just because. Actually, there's somebody did a cover of that song. I think it was at Leo Mortaroli. He did a really good cover, I think, of Bulls on Parade. Let's see. But yeah, okay, that's a request noted. And thank you, man. Thank you for mentioning my, interest in music. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Texas authority. Okay, Texas authorities are investigating this man who used his 3-month-old to wipe snow off his car. Okay. So, I probably don't have a popular perspective on this. I don't know. I'm probably going to get in some trouble, but I'm quite okay with the fact that this guy was out there wiping snow off of his car with his baby. I'm cool with that. No pun intended. Listen, one, you got, and this is going on and fortunately, these people are being taken task for it. But when you got hospitals out there, helping kids transition, we got abortion clinics, because we got sanctuary cities in Texas, y'all, where people are having abortions. I think that'd be a better place to send law enforcement and say, hey, you ain't, no, you ain't aborting kids here. All right, you go, you need to trust in the Lord. All right, you need Jesus. I'll get started. I'll go off on a long thing, but listen, that would be a better place for the police if they're worried about kids, if they're worried about children. Hit them hospitals where they're helping these kids transition, or where kids are being aborted. Cleaning off wiping snow off your car with your baby in it is not a big deal. I applaud this. I applaud this parent. Right, this parent is teaching their kid to be a man. All right, so it's like, because the kid it's not like he took the baby, like the kid is wearing like a onesie or something like that and just started wiping the kid off, like when he wiping snow off the car, with it. The kid's got snow gear on and stuff like that. He takes the baby, he's like wiping, he's wiping snow off the car. Heck yeah, get that boy trained, get him trained, because hey, we want that boy to be able to be like, hey, baby, it's cold outside. I'm going to go heat up the car for you. We want him to be one of them kind of young men that goes out and be ready to shovel that driveway, right? Make sure that, like say, for instance, it might be snowing and stuff like that. And that little boy, he may have a wife someday who she needs to get to the hospital. And we want to make sure that she's got to get to the so she can have her baby, they can have their baby. So he wants to make sure that boy is prepared to get out in that snow, make sure that driveway is salted and scraped out and everything, you know, or like he's got to take his wife to, you know, maybe she's got someplace to be or whichever, and they're going to go someplace, and he needs to be out there in that cold weather, make sure that the car going to start. You know, the car is going to turn over because it's too cold. He's got to make sure to do stuff like that. Make sure to get the ice and stuff off that windshield, get in the car, get it all heated up for his woman and stuff like that. He's got to be able to endure the cold for that. He's getting that boy ready. I like this person. That's right. Get it. It's like, you know, my kid ain't going to be using no excuse for no. It's a snow day. I'm going to stay, you know. Well, actually, no, you should stay home. You should stay away from public schools. But, you know, anyway, he's making this kid an unstoppable force. Snow ain't going to stop my baby, right? He's going to be a rugged man, right? So what do you guys think? You think you think this father is being I think the only thing I can find maybe wrong against him is that he's got a man bun going.
Yeah, that's what made me question him.
Yeah, I mean, and even the man bun. I don't have an issue with the man bun per se. You just, you know, I think the man bun is something that you got to earn though. You know, you just can't have a man bun.
What do you mean?
You got to earn it, because like, you know, even the samurai, they wore a man bun.
Well,
you know,
yeah.
There was a warrior class that wore the man bun. It was a more effective way of wearing your hair, right? So because they had the long hair, like, look, man, you know, just put this up,
yeah.
You know, and they roll it up, you know, and keep it out of the way. But you know, they did, you know, have the long hairs, you know, sign of prestige and fortitude, right? It's like in the wild, man. It's like plumage. You want to have that hair. That's like right to mate kind of stuff, right? So you know, and like I said, prestige. So, but you know, they put that stuff up, man, because you know they're also, you know, warrior class. And so when I see man bun, you know, I'm like, you didn't earn that. You got to earn that, man.
Yeah.
You got to earn that. You got to earn that. It's not a man bun. It's more of a dork knob. You got a dork knob going.
Dork knob.
Yeah. So anyway, that might be the only strike I have against this person. But other than that, it looks like he's teaching his kid, you know, showing him the ropes.
Yeah.
Toughening him up, right?
You know, my first instinct was I thought he was a little kind of careless with how he was holding the kid and swiping him across the windshield. But you pointed out, and look at how the father is acting. He's laughing, and it's play.
He's playing with him.
Like a father playing with his son. Like
yeah, that's what I saw.
And then I saw that, and I relaxed a little bit.
Yeah, it's like, toss him on the hood. Here, make a snow angel. Showing him the ropes. All right. Let's see what else we got here. The irony. Masked RFK protester escorted out while screaming vaccines save lives. Masked protest. It's one or the other, guy. If the vaccines really work, I don't think you really need that mask.
Right.
But, you know. And when I first looked at the article, I thought it was talking about Elizabeth Warren, but you know, no, it was somebody else, I guess, screeching in whichever.
It was a protester.
Yeah. And it's like, you would think that would just speak for itself. You know, it's like for all of y'all who are so terrified of RFK.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, so scared about vaccines and stuff like that. You do realize that a person who's probably just like, you know, loaded to the hilt with boosters and stuff like that, they're still in there with a mask on.
I know.
That just speaks volumes to you. Yeah, but I don't know. You know, and Elizabeth Warren, you know, she's worried about that lobby money.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and have the nerve to be like, the only reason why RFK Jr. is doing this is because. Who's going to pay him off for doing this? I mean, really?
Right. She was accusing him of making so much money, taking down the pharmaceutical industries. Like, what?
Woman, the problems that he's going to incur, you know, for this, I don't think that the kind of money, he ain't going to get the kind of money that y'all getting.
Right.
Y'all, it's like y'all just don't really understand, you know, you really don't understand a sense of. No, I don't want to. I was going to say y'all don't really understand a sense of duty. But they got a sense of duty also. You know, people like Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, they do. You know, yeah. they got an idea of what their so-called job is. You know, but their job is, and they think that they're doing the right thing. They do. Let's say even if they knew what they were doing was evil, they think that their evil is justified. Because, you know, with Democrats, the ends justify the means. Right? They think they're doing the right thing. And, you know, with RFK, you know, with the crusade that he's on, and, you know, Godspeed to him, these things are a threat to, I guess, the golden goose that they got.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want none of that. So, yeah, once again, I thought the person that was being dragged out, you know, this mass protester, I thought it was Elizabeth Warren, but, and then I looked a little further. No, she was having her own hissy fit.
Yeah,
you know,
the screeches sound the same, though.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Warren says, kids might die, but Robert Kennedy can keep cashing in. Like, cashing in on what?
Yeah, right. And what'd she say? Kids are going to die?
Yep. Kids might die.
Kids. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, Elizabeth, you know, I think, what was it, Nick Searcy? I think Nick Searcy said it best when he said that the thing about Democrats, they act like if you elect them, nobody's going to die.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not to say that, you know, even if they think that they're mitigating the amounts of death, it's like, no, Democrats, you guys really are more expeditious with setting up policies and cultural dynamics that actually cause more people to die. You really do. And then you want to come in and act like, you know, and drop all this virtue signaling and whatnot, acting like you guys are the saviors of, you know, America. And you want to treat people like RFK like he's the threat. You know, you want people to, you know, and even RFK is like, well, I support vaccines and all this. So he's kind of wishy-washy, but, and it's not even so much that vaccines are bad. A lot of it is just, as you guys know, it's just what's in them. You know, the preservatives, you know, that's put in them. You know, the DNA, you know, that's put in them.
God knows what else.
Yeah, there's so much, you know, that's being put into, you know, these devices, y'all. It's getting hard to keep up. I mean, so many series, and along with that, all the things that are causing these issues. It's like RFK was talking about. It's like, man, in my day, we didn't have these food allergies.
Yep.
You know, and all these things, man, they work together. And you know, Elizabeth Warren and her ilk, they're part of. It's a chain. It's a method of making sure that you have a culture that is just laden with inflammatory issues. Not just inflammatory physically, inflammatory mentally.
Definitely.
Inflammatory emotional issues, right? And we keep it in a circle. They keep it going in a circle, right? And a big part of that circle is what we eat. So we got the things that we consume, the foods, causing all kinds of dietary issues. And then you have these same people wanting free health care.
Yes.
But then, see, you have people like Elizabeth Warren and these people who lobby for this stuff who want to keep it that way, to where people are going to have these dietary issues and depend it on so-called healthcare and want the government to have the monopoly on it. Now, you want to talk about people who are going to cash in on that. Elizabeth Warren trying to make it look like RFK going to cash in. No, people like Elizabeth Warren going to get paid. Being this unholy cronyism between the pharmaceutical industry and the state, all right, and big food. So when you got that thing going together, you got food, putting these inflammatory agents in people's bodies. And they be like, you know, complaining of these issues and want free health care to take care of it, right? And then you got people who just straight up abuse it. They be smoking and smoking weed and drinking it and whatnot, and then turn around and want us to pay for that. You know, and what they asked, I think it was Bernie.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think healthcare is a human right? No, healthcare is not a freaking human right, man. It's not. Okay, look. As I've said before, but like say with education and healthcare, it's this simple, y'all. Do you value education? If you value education, freaking pay for it.
Yep.
It's that simple. You pay for things that you value, don't you? You pay for all these other things that you want. If you hold education as such a paramount, then pay for it.
Yes.
And it's the same thing with your health. If you value your health, one, you'll be mindful of your health. You don't charge somebody else to be mindful of your health. You don't imposition, you don't burden somebody else to be mindful of your health. You do it if you value your health that much. Make sure you are mindful of what you eat. Make sure you are mindful of how at least introducing your body to enough stimulus to where you get, your body understands that it has to, be strong.
Yeah.
All right. Do those things. But you don't really value health because you expect somebody else to pay for it. That's not showing a value for your health. All right. So these people, Bernie asked, like, do you think healthcare is a human right? No, it's not a human right. You have the right to work. Let me rephrase that. Let me carry that. When I say right to work, hey, don't take that meaning that you're entitled to somebody giving you a job. You're not. Okay? Please keep that in the right scope of what it's supposed to mean. But you do have the right to pursue happiness. Okay? We have this legal course of being able to make these transactions so you can go ahead and have money to do the things that afford you to eat healthy and afford you to be able to see the doctor when you need to see them, whether for maintenance or for whether you have an issue. Okay? You can't, if you really value your health and you're worried about some cataclysmic event that's going to compromise your ability to do things, well, you have the responsibility to make sure that you set money aside, that you have funds allocated to go to insurance to pay for those things. You do that. You don't subject the rest of the society to have to pay into what may happen to you. That's not freedom, man. That's not even free health care. You think that's not a health care right. To me, people are going to be out there irresponsible. You understand that, right? People are going to be out there irresponsible with their health, and you want other people to have to pay for that.
Yep.
You want to be so pro-choice, but you want other people to pay for your choices. There's no freedom in that, man. Doctors, people go into business because they want to make money. There's nothing really wrong with that. Doctors too. Okay. If you make it to where doctors, can't, make the living that they want to make, you're going to have some disinterested doctors. You want to mess around with people's health that way? I mean, this could really go south, man. And this leads up to like Berlin Wall kind of stuff, man. That's what you end up with. Mm-hmm. When you're going to force people to have to be in their occupations to satisfy the masses, or it's really to satisfy the state. And people are like, look, man, I ain't doing this anymore. I want out. The Berlin Wall wasn't meant to keep people out. The Berlin Wall was made to keep people in. And those people they'd be like, look, man, because they had the same mindset. It's a right, and you have to perform this work. Do this at the behest of the state, and do this for your fellow countrymen. You have to do it, right? People are like, no. I didn't get into this, into this occupation to have these things dictated to me. And they're like, we're leaving. We out. They got shot. Right? Shot in the back trying to leave. Yeah, that's what people like Bernie Sanders wants. Oh, but he wants democratic socialism. So basically, he wants us to vote in voluntarily a kind of system where you will be made to perform this service. You have to do it. That's slavery. That's what Bernie Sanders wants. But I guess it'll be democratic slavery.
Oh, yes.
right? So no, healthcare is not a human right. Once again, if you value it, you do what you got to do to pay for it. You don't make other people pay for it. And you make sure that you vote for policies that make it to where insurance can be affordable. These Democrats, man, they make it to where insurance isn't affordable. They make it that way. They don't allow the competition.
100.
Can't compete across state lines. They do that. They make it to where people can't afford insurance. So, but yeah, trying to make it like, health, and make RFK look bad because, it's going to try to put him on the spot and make it like, would you agree that healthcare is a human right? Huh? Dude. Anyway, British Navy, jolly good, mistakes farting whale for Russian submarine, spy drone. This is awesome. Let's read a little bit of it. Let's see. I like they got the beluga whale coming up there. Let's see. Vladimir Putin has the whole Western world spooked these days, so much so that the British Navy was convinced a whale was a Russian spy drone. Why? Because it farted. The Brits picked up 2 toots on their sonar and immediately went into full panic mode. That almost made me toot. Sure that the Russia's deep sea research unit known as Gookie.
Yep.
All right. Has dropped sub-drones off their coast to spy on their underwater assets. We are taking this very seriously, a Navy source told The Sun. We have to assume the worst because, the silent one can be a violent one. But this one had sound, right? Bloop. But those toots, you can smell it. But those toots turned out to be nothing more than whale farts. I wish they would be a little bit more professional and say whale flatulence. But I guess some people just have to be children. We have to
look down on them.
Yeah, right. We have been analyzing the sounds. You can't say analyze without anal. All right, so we've been analyzing the sounds, and now we believe it was a marine mammal, a whale. It was a whale of a fart. The official told the British newspaper. All right, so hey, see now the thing that worries me though is that what I'm worried now is that they may send drones. They may send drones out now, submarine drones, like with big speakers on them that sound like farts. And it could actually be submarines down there. And maybe they'll have tanks. They'll have tanks and speakers, right? And when they they'll go ahead and send a fart signal out, right? Whatever a whale fart sounds like.
Right.
Right? I don't know, right? And have some gas that they'll release that has, methane and whatever else, or as the Brits would say it, methane.
Yes.
Methane, and whatever compositions that their farts may be loaded with, and release those, and you'll be able to have drones into our space. But while people are thinking, oh man, it's just whale farts. There's whale farts out there doing, and have a submarine sneak into our territory, man. Be on the lookout for that. That's what I think. Hey, I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. I'm in my workshop. And if I seem to be talking much louder, it's because of this pounding rain.
Yeah, on the Brown Serpent Media chat, I hear a hissing noise. It comes and goes.
We're still in the process of trying to build our company, and at some point we'll have better insulation to be able to do this. But thank you guys so much for bearing with us. Hey, if you tuned in, I don't know if it's still going on the Instagram. Actually, let me check. It'll let me know right here. No, I think it's still going. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We had Silver Sailors, DAP84, Stephen Stanley, John Sides, Sanikov, Bacon King, Brian Lyman. Sorry, man. Thank you guys also for coming in, and y'all on the YouTubes and on bronzeserpentmedia.com. Was there anybody leaving any words of wisdom, pearls of wisdom before we get on out of here?
I can barely hear you. Melissa A. Child of God says, is it raining? Yes, it is.
Yes.
Jay says, though, trying to keep a straight face during the rain.
I appreciate that vote of confidence because my straight face went out a long time ago. Well, actually, my face is always straight. Yeah. All right.
No man bun there.
Man.
Jello Burger says, if you give up your health freedom to someone else, don't be surprised when they get richer while you get sicker.
Come on now.
Yep,
Thank you.
That describes the whole country.
Yes, that is what it is. All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much. BronzeSerpentMedia.com. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you guys will come over to the website and become a member. It ain't gonna cost you nothing. Just a couple clicks of your time won't cost you a dime. And drop that buck. Unless you want to drop that buck in the bucket to keep your Brozo on the go. I mean, that's another voluntary payment that you can make if you want to do that. Certainly appreciate those things. And that being said, y'all have a groovy rest of your week. And we'll see y'all again, Monday. All right. Bye.